Joe Biden gave a press conference today, and I think this press conference was particularly on point. Um, I think what it did is it gave a calming feeling to those likely Democrats and independents who are, is anything going to happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think it shows that the guy is really engaged and that he's going to likely deal. But most importantly, I think what he did is something that needs to be done, expressing that, hey, look at how the rescue plan that we did, that no Republican voted for, look at what it has done for the poor in the country. Look at what it has done for the middle class. Look at what it has done to prop up the economy thus far. And those two bills, the two infrastructure bills, we need them both. He also explained the bill so that the average American citizen can actually see there is something in this bill for me. There's something in the bill for me, which is what all those advertising that you see on TV. Oh, they're going to put out 10,000 IRS workers to really come and watch over you and take your money. Makes it clear. No, we're only talking about going and asking people, the rich people, to pay what they owe. Punto y final. Check this out and then we'll take it on the other side.
You came into office on a message of competence and unity. We've witnessed what's happened in the country over the course of the last several months. We've seen the chaotic troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, the threat of a government shutdown right now, and Democrats, members of your own party, are still divided over your agenda going forward. So what do you say to Americans who say that you have not delivered on that promise?
Remember, I said it's going to take me a year to deliver everything I'm looking at here. That's number one. Number two, take a look at what I inherited when I came into office. The state of affairs and where we were. We had 4 million people vaccinated. We had no plan. I could go down the list. So, part of it is dealing with the panoply of things that were landed on my plate. I'm not complaining. It's just a reality. It's reality, number one. Number two, I think the part of what has to happen here as well, for example, let's talk about my economic plan. The economic plan, you all are always, and understandably, legitimately citing polls. Every element of my economic plan is overwhelmingly popular. Overwhelmingly popular. But the problem is, with everything happening, not everybody knows what's in that plan. For example, all those women out there who are not able to go back to work because they have a dependent grandparent or a parent, or they have a dependent child who needs help, or they can't find daycare, or they can't find, look at what's happening. Well, there's a solution. There's a solution in the proposal that I put forward, and the plans we're now debating in the United States among ourselves, and they're debating in Congress, as is the plan, the essence of the plan that I laid out in the beginning. And so I'm confident that at the end of the day, we're going to be able to get that done. Second point I'd like to make, we talk about price tags. It is zero price tag on the debt. We're going to pay for everything we spend. So it's not, people, understandably, well, it started off at 6 trillion, now it's 3.5 trillion, now is it going to be 2.9? It's going to be zero. Zero, because in that plan that I put forward, and I said from the outset, I said, I'm running to change the dynamic of how the economy grows. I'm tired of trickle down. The trillionaires and billionaires are doing very, very well. You all know it, you've all reported it. And in the middle of this crisis, but hardworking people and middle-class people are getting hurt. And so I provide for example, a tax cut. If you have a child, you get a refundable tax credit. It's reduced hunger in America by 40%, literally for children. You have the whole notion of being able to provide for daycare for your children, getting people back to school, et cetera. It's all paid for. It's all paid for. But a lot of these are flat tax cuts that exist within my proposal. And they're being calculated as if the cost of the child care tax credit is a cost to the government. It's not. It's reducing taxes. reducing taxes, not increasing taxes. Now, part of the problem is I had hoped, I hadn't planned on, although I kind of anticipated it might happen, I hadn't planned on the 178-mile top winds, hurricanes going to Louisiana, and 20 inches of rain in New York and New Jersey, and an area as big as the state of New Jersey burning down in the west. And so what I had hoped I would be doing, I'd do what I did in the campaign. I'd be out making the case about what my plan contained. And it's been very much curtailed by a whole range of things. And so I think that it's understandable. I think it's understandable, people being frustrated. I think they're frustrated as well by the fact that not just members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, frustrated by, I thought this was going to be better. I thought everything was working out. We were moving along on COVID-19, and now we have all these people who refuse to get a shot. And now look at the people dying, large numbers of people dying. So I think it's a totally legit, obviously it's a legitimate question you've asked, but I think putting it in context here, it's going to take some time here. And I know I always kid you when you all ask me about, well, what about, are you going to get A done, B done, C done? Well, I say, you want to negotiate. I'm being a bit facetious, obviously, but here's the deal. This is going to end up, I believe, we're going to end up getting both the pieces of my economic legislation. The first piece, the 1.9, fundamentally changed the structure and the nature of the economy in this country. Even though, remember, it got clobbered. It was this terrible thing, no Republican voted for it. Well, we got real economic growth. Now we're at this stalemate at the moment, and we're going to have to get these two pieces of legislation passed. Both need to be passed. And they'll have a profound impact, according to not Joe Biden, but according to Wall Street, according to the IMF, according to international organizations.
Later on in this same interview is where he talks a whole lot about what are you for? Let's start talking about what you're for. And be cool. I told you it was going to take a year before I get the things that I wanted to do. Progressives want a hell of a lot more, but we're very satisfied that he's made that push already. And he's saying, I told you a year. Let's see what happens by December. I have a good feeling that both these bills are going to be there, and it's going to be more than we think it is. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.